and welcome to Mrs. Labbate's first day of distance learning. This is going to be our first video as we try and learn at home. So I'm very excited to see what you can come up with and what you can do at home. I know it's going to be a learning curve for all of us, but I'm very excited to do it. I just want to get started and tell you I miss you all so much. I wish I was in the classroom with you and got to see all your smiling faces every day, but unfortunately this is how we're going to be learning now. So today I just wanted to let you know all you need is a pen or a pencil, a piece of lined paper. Now if mom and dad went through and printed out our lesson, you'll see that there's some pages that Mrs. Labbate made that look like this. Now, if you don't have those printed, that's okay. That's why we have the lined paper. But if you have those pages, I'll tell you when we need to use those pages. So, and just a note, if you hear noise in my background, we're just going to try to ignore it. It's my dogs. They like to play a lot. And I might hear the cat too. But we're going to try and get through this together. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Today, we're going to be learning how to describe characters. Now, you might be saying, oh, Mrs. Labbate, we've already done describing characters. I know. We're going to be reviewing so we can get those brains working. All right, so we're going to be describing their personality, their background, their appearance, all things we've done in the classroom before. So, just to get those brains working. But we're going to start our day as we always do with our morning message, all right? So, I'm going to read through it, and I'm going to point out some things I want you to work on at home. So, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. But let's read through it first. Dear first graders, I miss you all so much. I hope you are staying safe at home. Today, we will be reading and writing. We want to get our brains working and remember all the great things we have learned in school. Love, Mrs. Labbate. So, as always in our morning message, I want us to think hard about what we just read, and I want us to think, today I want us to focus on rhyming words. So I'm going to circle a word, and I want to think, what are words that rhyme with this word? We're going to circle the word. See if you can read that word. That's the word all. Now, we want words that rhyme with all. Now, in order to rhyme, they have to have the same ending sound. So we want it to have the word all in it. Well, let me go through my alphabet. A, well, all. If I put a B in front, that makes ball. So I'm going to write that. Now, ball rhymes with all. Ball, all. Let's go to our next letter. A, B, C, call. That's a word. Again. And there's the word all in the word call. So, ball, all, call. Let's keep going through our alphabet. E, no, F, fall. Again, you see the word all in the word fall, and so they rhyme, they have the same endings. So we have all, call, ball, fall. Awesome. Now, if you're at home, I want you to see if you can come up with a whole list of all those all words. And I want you to show it to mom, dad, sister, brother. I want to come up with every all word you can think of. And I want you to make a whole list. All right. So that's looking at rhyming words. Now, I want us to think way back when we were in school and look at added endings. That's when we add letters to words at the end, and it changes the meaning. So, I miss you all so much. See, an ending that we worked on a lot. ing, ing. So we added ing to the end of the word stay and made it staying. Another thing, let's keep going through, see if we can find any more. Today we will be reading, oh, there's that ing, and writing. We want to get our brains working and remember all the great things we have learned in school. Now, I went through and found ing. Are there any other endings that we could put on words? What about more than one? If we have something that's more than one, we put an S at the end of our word, like in the word brains. Because there's more than one brain in all of our heads. You have a brain, I have a brain, my dog has a brain, so there's more than one. So we have brains. All right, we have an S at the end of the word things. There's one more different kind of ending that we've worked on, and that's ed. We learned, and that's to show the past tense of the word. So we learned, that means in the past. Now, I don't need you to do anything with these ings and s's. I just wanted to get your brain thinking and think of all of those great endings that we can put on the end of words. All right, so that is our morning message. Now, we're going to move on to our read aloud, because there's always a read aloud in school, and I want us to stay on a regular schedule. So today, if I can get the book, I'm going to read aloud a story, and I want us to focus on the main character, because I said we would be describing characters today. So we're going to focus on the main character. We learned about how to describe characters in school. So while I'm reading, I want you to pay attention to all the things that you hear about them. What their personality is like, what their background is like, and what their appearance is like. All right? So I'm going to read the story, Beatrice Doesn't Want To. All right? And we're listening the whole time I'm reading, and then we're going to work together on a page. Beatrice doesn't want to. Beatrice didn't like books. She didn't even like to read. More than that, she hated going to the library. But that's where her brother Henry had to take her 3 afternoons in a row. Henry had to look after Beatrice. He also had to write a report on dinosaurs. Why don't you get some books from the shelf? Henry suggested when they got to the library. I don't want to, Beatrice said. Look at how many books there are, Henry said. I don't want to, Beatrice repeated. Then, what do you want to do? Henry asked. I want to watch you, said Beatrice. But I have to work, said Henry. I'll watch, said Beatrice. I give up, said Henry. I worked on his report. He worked on his report. Beatrice watched. Henry tried not to notice her. What can we say about Beatrice right now? And what can we say about her in the beginning? What is her personality like? She's a bit grumpy. She doesn't want to. And now she won't stop looking at her brother. She's being a little difficult. So we got to keep that in mind when we're thinking about her personality. We also got to think about her background, her age. She's a younger sister, so she's young. And we can look at her appearance. We can see that she has long floppy ears. She's wearing a striped scarf. We know she's a dog. So those are all things we can do to describe our character. The second day, Beatrice didn't want to go back to the library. "You have to," said Henry. "I don't want to," Beatrice told him. "But I have to work," Henry said. When they got there, Beatrice saw a big, comfy chair. "I'll just sit here." "Okay," said Henry, "but don't move until I'm finished." Henry began to work on his report. All of a sudden, he felt someone tapping his shoulder. He turned around, and there was Beatrice. "I'm bored," she said. "I give up," said Henry. Again, we can look at how can we describe Beatrice. She's bored right now. And she seems to complain. On the third day, Beatrice followed Henry around when he looked for more books. "Can I hold some?" Beatrice asked. Henry gave her some books to hold. "They're too heavy," Beatrice wailed. "I really do give up," said Henry. "You're driving me crazy." "Please, Bay," Henry begged her. "I've got to get this report done. It's due tomorrow." So, we can think more about how she's acting and what she's doing, so we can describe our character later. "How about drink of water first," said Beatrice. They went down the hall to look for some water. Suddenly, Henry saw a poster. "That's it," he thought. The poster says, "The librarian will read Albert Mouse has a brand new house today at 4 p.m. in the children's room." "Come on," said Henry. "I don't want to," answered Beatrice. "Too bad," shouted Henry. Again, she's pouting. She seems a little upset, sad, and grumpy. Before Beatrice knew it, she was in a room full of other children. Henry walked out just as she started to say, "I don't want..." Let's take a second and think. Do we think her feelings are going to change? Is she going to say, "I don't want to"? How would you feel if you were in a room full of children that were your age? Beatrice sat down to wait for Henry. "Hello, my name is Wanda," said the girl in the next chair. "This is the second time I've heard this story." "Big deal," said Beatrice. Looks like Beatrice is still being a little grumpy. She still doesn't seem to want to be there. Albert Mouse lived in a brand new house. The librarian began to read. She held the book up so everyone could see the pictures. Beatrice glared out the window. Albert Mouse also had new roller skates. The librarian continued. Beatrice loved to roller skate. She looked at the librarian. But Albert's mother wasn't too thrilled when he skated through the house, the librarian read. The boys and girls laughed. Beatrice smiled. She smiled, so that's something different. Let's see how her personality changes, how her feelings change. She remembered the time she had tried roller skating in her own house. Then Beatrice laughed. She listened to the whole story. When the story was over, Beatrice went up to the librarian. "May I see that book, please?" she asked. "Of course," said the librarian. Beatrice sat down and looked at each picture over and over. Suddenly, she felt someone tapping her shoulder. "Time to go," Henry whispered. Beatrice kept looking at the pictures. Henry stuck Beatrice's hat on her head. "We have to go home now," he said. Beatrice ignored him. "Come on, Bee," Henry said. How has her actions changed now? How is she different? Now she doesn't want to put down the book, whereas at the beginning she didn't even want to go to the library. So it looks like she has changed her personality. She's a bit happier now. "I don't want to," Beatrice said. And you can see that great big smile on her face. And that was Beatrice doesn't want to. So, now, either getting a plain piece of paper, or you can use the sheet that Mrs. Labbate made. I'm going to write on both. We're going to describe our character. So I want you to make your sheet look like this. So what you can do is you can just draw a rectangle at the top. And I'm not going to make you write all of this. It says the main character is, and we know that the main character is Beatrice. So if you just have line paper, you can just write her name at the top, Beatrice. And I'm going to write it up here. The main character is Beatrice. And we're going to describe the main character. So, let's start with something easy. Let's start with her appearance. What could we say about her appearance? We could say that she has a striped shirt and a blue skirt. So, if you don't know how to write these words, that's okay. You can just draw them. So, I'm going to say striped shirt. Now again, if you don't know how to write it, you can just draw it. Just draw a little t-shirt. You can add some stripes to it. Alright. And same thing, if you have lined paper, just draw a shirt. So we know how to describe our main character. Alright, another thing I said, she was wearing a blue skirt. So I'm just going to write the words blue skirt and draw a little picture to go with it. Now if you have colors and crayons, you can color it in too. But we're going to save that for the end. What else could we say about her appearance? Well, we know she has long, floppy ears. We could say the color of her fur, that it is brown, a light brown and white. So I'm going to say brown fur. And I might just draw something that looks like hair. And again, you can be doing the same thing on your lined piece of paper. Alright, so that's ways we can describe her appearance. Now, let's look at her background. Now remember, a background means her age, her gender, things about her family. So, how could we describe Beatrice's background? Well, we know she's a girl. And I might draw a little bow for my girl. We also know that she's a younger sister. She's a little sister. She has that older brother, Henry. So I'm going to say little. Thinking about those 1G power words. Little sister. So we know she's a little sister. She's a girl. Now it didn't tell us her exact age, but that's okay. Sorry, my little cat decided to say hello. Hi, Tigger. All right, we're gonna put you down. All right. Now let's think about her personality. What was her personality like in the beginning of the story? I would say I'm gonna use these big, beautiful words, but you can use little words if you want to. You can use the word sad or mad. So we can put those. She was sad because she didn't want to go to the library. She was mad that she had to wait for her brother. But I might use big, beautiful words. So I might use big, beautiful words like upset or frustrated. Yep. Sorry, my puppy decided to say hi too. Get this straightened out. All right, you gotta go play. You gotta go play. Sorry. All right. So I want you to think, and in the end, how was Beatrice acting? We can flip to the very last page. How is her personality? She was happy. And excited. She was excited to read now. So those are ways that we can describe our character's personality. All right, and so that was our read aloud. Now I went a little fast. If you need to pause the video and take some time to write those things, that is great. You can do that. But we're just gonna keep moving right along. Now, after we've read our story, we always go into our writing. Now, if your mom and dad had printed out the lesson for today, you'll notice that there's a reading comprehension sheet. This is for extra practice to look at our character traits. So it's extra practice to look at how we describe our character. So you can do this for extra practice. If you get it done, you can take a picture of it and send it to me. All right, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our writing time. Now, you might have to stop the video and do your writing time on your own, or you can wait till after all this video and you can write on your own. But we're gonna get our writing paper out. Now, if you printed out the lesson plan, I made a writing paper for you. If you didn't, again, that's okay. You can use your line paper. Now, first things first, whenever we start a new writing, what do we need at the top? We need our name and date, because I want to keep track of all the writing that you do during this time. So we're going to put your name, and date. Today is the 28th. So we're going to put 4/28. And if you have lined paper, again, just put it at the top. You put your name and date. Now, if it helps you, you can bold some lines on your piece of paper. But we can always include a little drawing box at the top. So today for your writing, I want you to write to share a story and tell me something that you've done while you've been at home. So this should be something really easy. You don't have to write a whole lot, but something that you can share with a family member or a friend to tell me what you've been doing while you've been at home. So I'm going to write about something fun that I did while I've been at home during this time. So I'm going to start with one of our sequence words. Think real hard. What are some of our sequence words? How do we start our paper? I'm going to say one day. One day. Now, one day, well, first I got to think, what was I doing on that day? So I might need to add to my picture first so I know what I'm doing for my writing. So I'm going to say, one day I was in my backyard and I was thinking, I want some plants back here. I wanted to see flowers and grow vegetables because I'm here at home and it's so pretty outside. So I thought, I want to make a garden. So if I was going to make a garden, I need to build one because I don't have one in my backyard. So I had to go to the store and buy some wood. I had to buy some soil, and I had to buy some plants that I could plant. And then when I put it all together, when I built my box, put in my soil, had my flowers, it looks beautiful. So that was a really fun day for me. I loved making that garden. So I want to know if there's something you've been doing at home. Maybe some craft. Maybe you've made slime. Maybe you've been drawing pictures. So I want to know all the cool things that you have done while you've been at home. Hey, shh, stop. Sorry. Animals, which I'm sure you have a lot of. Maybe you played with your animals. Maybe you went to the outside and just ran around and played fetch with them. That would be a good story too. All right. So if I'm going to start my story, get down. I need to make sure I have my picture. So I'm going to draw my garden that I made. Get down. Get down. So we made it standing up. So here's my garden, and I'm going to draw a quick picture of me. And then I might draw my little watering can that I used. To water my plants. So now that I have my picture, I can start writing. So I want to tell the story of something fun I did during this time. So I'm going to say, one day I wanted a garden in my backyard. Alright. And what did I say I wanted to plant? I think I said I wanted flowers and vegetables. So, my handwriting's not the neatest right now because I got my paper falling over and my dog's running around. But you're going to take your time when you're writing and do your best to share something you've been doing that's been fun. So next, I want to keep my story going. I wanted to plant flowers and vegetables. I needed to buy wood, soil, and flowers. Alright, so now I'm telling you a little more of my story. I want you to go through and I want you to keep writing and I want you to finish your story. And when you finish it, I want mom or dad to see if they can take a picture of it and then send it to me because I want to see all your wonderful writing. Now, it's not for a grade, but I do want to see that you're working and that we're getting and we're paying attention. So that's what I have for you for writing today. All right. Now, the last thing, because I said we're going to be doing some writing and reading, is I want you to read stories that you can read on your own. Now, so today's goal, I want you to earn 2 steps. That means you're reading for 30 minutes. I think you can do it. Now, if you don't have books at home, there's lots of websites that I've sent mom and dad that you can click on. You can also go to Get Epic, and if you look on our lesson plan, it tells you exactly where to go and what our class code is so that you can get on there and read some books online. But today I'm going to read some books. I'm going to read Splat the Cat Sings Flat. And today we're just reading for fun. We're just reading to earn those 2 steps. Now if you can tell me who the main character is, that's awesome. You can go share that with brother or sister or mom and dad. But again, today, reading 2 steps, and we're reading just for fun. So I'm going to read you another story called Splat the Cat Sings Flat. Splat the cat goes to cat school. Splat likes to take Seymour. Seymour is Splat's new pet mouse. Seymour rides in Splat's hat. Thinking about those rhyming words that we worked in our morning message, I'm hearing some rhyming words in here, like splat and cat. And hat. Wow. One morning, Splat's teacher had big news. She asked all the cats to sit on the big red mat. Seymour sat in Splat's hat. All of you will sing on Parents' Night, said Mrs. Wimpy Dimple. Mrs. Wimpy Dimple said, if your singing is loud, your parents will be proud. Loud, proud, that rhymes too. Will lots of parents be there? Asked Splat. Yes, all the parents, said Mrs. Wimpy Dimple. Gulp, said Splat. Splat's tail wiggled wildly. Splat was worried. Splat was shy. I can't sing, said Splat. Can you meow? Asked the teacher. I forget how to meow, said Splat. Can you hum? Asked the teacher. I even forgot how to hum, said Splat. Colt, stop it. Sorry, my puppy's playing again. That's okay, Splat, says Mrs. Wimpy Dimple. I will help you sing. We will all help you sing. Mrs. Wimpy Dimple sang first. La la la, she sang. The cats on the mat began to sing, all except Splat. Now you try, Splat, says Mrs. Wimpy Dimple. Splat opened his mouth. Nothing came out. You can do it, Splat, said his teacher. Splat tried hard, but all that came out was a little squeak. Splat looked at Seymour. Seymour was brave. He was a mouse in a room full of cats. Splat could be brave too. Splat opened his mouth again. La, sang Splat. The note was loud. It was long and it was very, very flat. The cats on the mat went wild. Splat was not trying to be funny, but he was funny anyway. Sing just like that, says Mrs. Wimpy Dimple. You will be the star with a mouse in his hat. Maybe, said Splat. Splat went home after school. What if I forget my part? Splat asked Mom and Dad. You won't forget, they said to Splat. Maybe I will forget, said Splat. Splat put Seymour on his head. Splat's tail wiggled and Seymour jiggled. Splat sang la. The note still came out flat. Maybe I won't forget, said Splat. Soon it was parents' night. All the parents came to Splat's classroom. The class stood on the big red mat. Let's begin, said Mrs. Wimpy Dimple. The class started to sing, la la la, sang the cats. But Splat stayed quiet. He waited for his turn. Mrs. Wimpy Dimple gave Splat a nod. Splat was ready. Seymour jumped onto Splat's head. Seymour was ready too. Splat's tail wiggled wildly. Splat opened his mouth very wide. La, sang Splat, and the note was flat. It was very flat and very loud. He opened his mouth even wider. La, sang Splat. Then he opened his mouth as wide as it could go. La, sang Splat, and he fell off the mat. Splat! The class giggled, the parents laughed, and Splat laughed the loudest of all. You were the star, said Splat's mom. We are very proud of you, said Splat's dad. Splat was the cat's meow, said Mrs. Wimpy Dimple. Splat was happy. Guess what, said Splat. I didn't forget to sing flat. I forgot to be shy. Mom and Dad hugged Splat. We love our cat who sings flat. So that was my story. Again, I want you to think who was the main character of your story and what is something that you would do to describe them. How could you describe your main character? I want you to read 2 steps today and read as many books as you can to see if you can come up with the main character and how to describe them. Alright, so if you need to stop, you can stop the video and go do your reading, or you can wait till we're all done. Now I'm going to move on to our math lesson. Alright. So we're going to get through our pages here. All right, so again, if your parents printed out the lesson, you'll have some of the papers already made. If not, that's okay. We're going to do it on line paper together. So first things first, for math, we're going to work on our fluency. So fluency means our math facts, and I know it's been a long time since you've been doing your math facts. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do all our +1 addition facts. So what that's going to look like is you're going to just write 1 plus, and we'll start with 1. 1 plus 1 equals. And then we'll do 1 plus 2 equals. So we're going to do 1 plus, and then we're going to go up in number each time. 1 plus 3, 1 plus 4, 1 plus 5, and we're just going to keep going. Now if you have the fluency sheet, I've already done it for you, and then sometimes you might have to add. So you might have to do the 1 plus 6, 1 plus 7, and we're going to do 1 plus all the way to 20. I know it's a lot, but it's going to be good practice because I know you haven't done math in a long time. So we're going to keep doing 1 plus 6 equals, 1 plus 7 equals. So you're going to keep going down. If you need to get another piece of paper, you can get another piece of paper. I want you to go all the way to 20. And then when you're done writing all of those math facts, then you're going to go back through and solve them. So we should know 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. 1 plus 3 equals 4. So you're going to go through, after you've written all your math facts, you're going to go through and answer all your math facts. Now that's just doing 1 plus. The next thing, because we got to work on lots of math facts to be good at it, we're going to do all our +2 facts. So we're going to do 2 plus 1 equals 2 plus 2 equals 2 plus 3 equals, again, writing them all down. If you have the sheet, print it out. It's already done for you. You just got to fill in the rest of the numbers. And I know it seems like a lot, I know, but it's been a long time since we've done math, so this is going to be good. And they're easy math facts. You know 2 plus 1, you know that's 3. You know 2 plus 2, you know it's 4. It's just going to be some writing, but I know you know your math, so we're going to get it done. So if you can get all that done, you can take a picture of it and send it to me so I can see you're working on your math. So here would be a good time to stop the video so that you can go back and you can write all your 1 plus facts down and all your 2 plus facts down to get your math brain started. So again, stop the video and go do some math fluency practice. Then when you come back, you can just push play again and we'll get started on the next thing. So today, now if mom and dad printed out the sheet, you're going to have an application problem. They can read it to you and you can solve it if you want. But if you didn't print it out, that's no big deal. We're going to move on. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to review. That means to look back, to study again, our 2D shapes. Now you might be asking, what's a 2D shape? Well, that's a flat shape. Something that we can't hold like this. This is a 3D shape. This is something I can hold, a dog toy. So a 2D shape is something flat. So if you have the sheets printed out, I've made a list of all of our shapes. If you don't, we're going to use line paper. So thinking of our 2D shapes, I want you to draw a circle. All right. Now if your circle's not perfect, that's okay. Mine's not either. See? And we're going to write the name of our shape. circle. If you can't spell it, that's okay. I'm going to put it right here on the screen. Again, you can pause it if you need to write it down. Circle. Now we're going to draw a triangle. Now, if you don't remember what a triangle looks like, it has 3 sides, 3 corners. That's our triangle. All right, next one is a square. Now remember, a square has all sides the same length. So you want it to be a perfect looking square, a perfect box shape. Next is a rectangle. Now a rectangle has 2 long sides and 2 short sides. Now if you're using this sheet, you're writing the name of the object. Now there's a word bank at the top, so if you need to write it, they have the right spelling up at the top and you can put those in the boxes. And then you can draw it yourself on this side. In the middle, we're going to be looking at the number of sides and the number of corners. But let's get through all our shapes. Next, we have a rhombus. You might also think of it as a diamond. So we have a rhombus. And last, we have a trapezoid. Remember, these are all shapes we've already learned in school. We're just going back through them to freshen up our brains. Trapezoid. All right. Now, if you're working on lined paper and if you wrote a little smaller, that's great. If you wrote big like me, that's okay too. And if you're using your paper, we're going to think, how many sides does each of our shape have and how many corners does it have? Well, is there any sides, any straight sides to our circle? Are there any corners in our circle? Nope. So if you're using your paper, you would put 0 sides and 0 corners. Let's look at our triangle. We have 1, 2, 3 straight sides and 1, 2, 3 corners. Now, if you're using lined paper, you don't need to write down your sides and corners. But if you have our printed sheet, go ahead and write it down. So we have 3 sides and 3 corners. I just want to make sure that we're counting and we're keeping track. All right, next one, square. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. And let's count our corners. 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. All right. And I want you to go through and go ahead and finish counting. So if you're using your piece of paper, you could always make our little tick marks on the straight sides to show you're counting your sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Our rectangle has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Our rhombus, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Our trapezoid has 1, 2, 3, 4 sides again and 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. All right, now these are all our 2D shapes that we're working on today. Now it's going to be a quick math lesson because we're just reviewing. We're just looking back to see what we remember. All right, another thing we've worked on is 3D shapes. I brought my sphere over here because this is something I can hold. This is a 3D shape. So, working with our 3D shapes, if you have your paper printed out, it'll look like this. If you do not, then we're going to do our best to draw it. Now, I'm not the best drawer, but that's okay. So, first thing we're going to draw is a cone. Now, in order to draw a cone, I'm going to put a top, a little carrot, and then a whoop, a little whoosh underneath. A little half smile, you can say. And we're going to call that a cone. That's our cone. All right, and our sphere. Now it's going to be hard to draw a sphere because it looks like a circle. But we're going to draw a little half smile in the middle of it to show that it's 3D, to show that it's round. And this is called a sphere. Next one, we're going to draw a cylinder. You do 2 straight lines. Half smile at the bottom. Half smile at the top. And then we're going to close the top smile. So we're going to make a little circle at the top. And that's what we call a cylinder. Again, if you have this sheet, you can use the word bank at the top to fill in the shape name. And then you can work with us and draw it out. All right, next one we have is a pyramid. All right, so we're going to start with a carrot. And then we're going to draw an extra line. So now there's 3 lines. It kind of looks like a chicken foot. And we're just going to connect those lines so it goes across. All right, and that's a pyramid. All right, we have 2 more. We have a cube, and I'm just going to start by drawing a square. I'm going to draw 3 lines going off of it away. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to connect those lines. And that's called a cube. And for a rectangular prism, we do the same thing, but with a rectangle. So I'm going to start by drawing a rectangle. And drawing 3 lines off and connecting those lines. Rectangular prism. Again, if you need to write down any of these words, you can pause the screen, pause the video, and copy them down. All right, so that's all we're doing for math today. If you want extra practice with your shapes, there is a website that you can go on that Mom and Dad can click on. If you look at the lesson, it's right here. It's on Starfall. And you should know about Starfall because we had that in class. So all you have to do is go to starfall.com, go to first grade, go down to geometry, because that's what we're learning about. And there is a puzzle game that deals with shapes in geometry. And you can just work with your 2D and 3D shapes. All right. If you have any questions, tell Mom and Dad. Ask them to send it to me, and I will try and answer any of your questions, okay? I miss you all so, so much, and I will see you, or you will see me, on Thursday for our next lesson. Happy reading, happy writing. Bye, guys.